Hello and welcome to Take Time. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, and did you grow up in the 90s? Let's take that question a step further. Did you play with Matchbox cars as a kid, or have a goofy color block jacket you wore in the winter, or loved lazing about the beach with your friends? If so, then this watch is for you. And if none of those things are true and you didn't grow up in the 90s, this watch will take you there. Today we're looking at a watch made and assembled in the US, right here in Portland, Oregon. The Vero 36. This has to be the most nostalgic watch I've ever held. It takes me right back to my childhood in California and later on Hawaii before I came to live in New York City. The color palette, scale, and undeniable joy I feel from wearing this piece is unlike anything else. However, what really makes this piece so special? As with all my reviews here on the channel, I like to start with the bad and then move on to the good before giving my final verdict on a review item. So let's talk Vero. Before we get into the video, I'd like to send a special thanks out to the team over at Worn & Wound for lending this piece in for review. To be honest with you guys, Vero wasn't even a flicker on my radar until they brought it up in a recent conversation. I have absolutely loved my experience with this watch, and it is a piece that's on my next to buy list. Thank you guys for letting me know about this watch and allowing me to share this experience with my audience here. Now, they're not a sponsor, but if you enjoyed this review and want to check out this piece and more, you can do so by visiting Worn & Wound's sister site, windupwatchshop.com. The Vero 36 is 36 millimeters in diameter. Now you can see where that name came from. It's 43 millimeters from lug end to lug end and is 9.5 millimeters thin. It also features 18 millimeter lug widths. The 100-meter water-resistant case is of course made out of 316L stainless steel and features a boxed sapphire crystal on top with an exhibition window in the back, showcasing the hand-wound Sellita SW210 inside that features 42 hours of power reserve and has been regulated in 6 positions to plus or minus 5 seconds a day. I think the biggest deterrent for the Vero 36, the thing that's going to scare most folks away before even considering this piece, is its cost, which is right around $1,080. Honestly, the only negative I can give this piece is its cost, and it's not at all the watch's fault, nor is it unwarranted. This watch is easily worth every bit of that cost, and consider this. If you live stateside, you're stimulating the American economy, which isn't a bad thing at all. Seriously though, there are options similar to this that cost far less. However, if you wanted something different, unique, I think this is a good contender worth your time. That is honestly the only negative I can attribute to this piece because everything else is just a pure joy. Let's start with what makes this piece so special. Along with every other Vero watch, it's American made. Not many watches are these days. The typical process for new watch brands, particularly micros, is to outsource everything from manufacturers in Asia or Europe, but they didn't. Every case and every dial is made right here in America, with one of the only components outsourced being the movement. Now, running this kind of operation is expensive, hence the price, but it is so very rare and well appreciated by consumers like myself. Moreover, it's a point of pride for the brand and anyone in ownership of a Vero. They did not take the easy route deciding to do their manufacturing in-house, and that needs to be recognized. The design of the Vero 36 in either the Sunset or Rally dial featured here is delightful. It is a spunky colorway with 3 concentric rings in red, white, and blue on the outside of a lovely cream dial with printed black numerals. It's equally playful as it is practical. The enlarged 3, 6, 9, and 12 make telling the approximate time easy at a glance. And having omitted any form of minute markings, you get the sense that the folks over at Vero take time telling a bit more lax than others. In a word, they make it fun. The case of the 36 is elegant, but before we get to that, we have to take a look at that caseback. Literally everything you need to know about the watch is right there, which I absolutely love. Save us from the text-laden dials of every other watch and put all the necessary information here instead. Now, while we're looking at it, notice that the case is 100 meters water resistant, which is fantastic if you enjoy aquatic activities. Furthermore, you'll notice that the watch features a piston-sealed crown. What this means for you is that despite this not featuring a screw-down crown, the effective water resistance rating of this case does not change whether the crown is at rest or in the time setting position. It's 100 meters water resistant always. Regarding the case, it is perfectly machined and detailed and cut to an excellent unisex scale. A detail I appreciate about the Vero 36, aside from the drilled lug holes, which is becoming a must for consumers like myself who like switching out their accessories often, is how flat the profile of this watch is on your wrist, and that's due in large part to the case's low-lying case back. You'll notice how it's nearly flat against the back of the chassis, and this allows it to wear perfectly once on the wrist. And speaking of, before I give you my final verdict on the Vero 36, why don't we take a look at what this might look like on your wrist. I really love the sunset dial option. I think a little bit more than the Rally one here. I'm fairly certain I had a t-shirt as a kid that looked exactly like that watch, but here is what the Rally looks like on a 7¼ inch wrist for all of your admirers, and when you are going to admire it, it's going to look a little something like this. And here is what the Vero 36 will look like on a 7¼ inch wrist, and as you can tell, it's just the perfect scale. I honestly think that 36 millimeters works well on most all wrists, male or female. You know, unless you have a massive wrist, this might not agree with you, but I really do think that this is the perfect scale of watch, and under 10 millimeters thin, everything about this piece is great, and it pairs so well with different straps. I of course have this on the stock Rally strap it came with. It'll also come with a matching NATO style strap, but as it's seen here, I absolutely adore this piece. Vero captured something really special with the 36 here. It's perfectly executed, simple design, and everyday wearability makes it a compelling offering at any price point. But then you add a scale that's right for most all wrist with a playful color palette that works for any occasion, and we have what some might call a one-watch collection. Now, I don't know if you get the same feelings I do when I look at this piece, but something about it takes me back to my childhood, where everything felt new, invigorating, and precious. There's a magic here that I can't quite place my finger on, and I'm not sure I entirely want to. All I know is that I haven't ever held a watch that's made me smile this much, and I'm happy knowing that there's a group out there engineering magic for folks like me to enjoy. Thanks, Vero. Now, if you found this video enlightening or in the least entertaining, feel free to hit that like button. It looks a whole heck of a lot like this guy. If you have friends, forums, or groups that are interested in picking up a modestly sized watch with a playful spirit, in particular one from Vero's collection, feel free to share this video with them first so they can get another consumer's opinion on the piece. Also, if you're new to the channel, well, welcome. I do videos like this 2 or more times a week, so if watch content is your thing, feel free to slam that subscribe button, and while you're down there, you can hit the little bell icon just next to that to be alerted as to when my videos air. At some point this year, I need to find the funds to purchase one of these watches, either the stock version or the Worn and Wound limited edition version. Zach, if you're watching this, you did an amazing job with that design. I was instantly enamored when I went to pick this up, and I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to check one of these out. Again, thank you, Vero, for this design, and thank you, Worn and Wound, for lending this in for review. Again, my name is Patrick Marlatt, and thank you for the time.